Lego has said that they have something to announce. In previous years, it has been also nothing, literally nothing.
They need to refresh it. They need to make something that is really outside the box that gets people's attention.
When I saw the 6-second announcement, they said something crazy is coming. And whenever Lego says something crazy is coming, that is your immediate go-to sign to temper all your expectations. Nothing's going to happen. The rumor on the street is that this is, Zach, alleged. This is the castle.
Are you just lowering your expectations so you're not disappointed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I have wanted a Peach's Castle since they have announced the Lego Super Mario. If the castle looks bad, that doesn't matter.
That's my indication to think this is a big steaming pile of caca that I should not look forward to. It's a Ultimate Collector Series Bowser's Golden Porcelain Throne to accompany the Bowser that came out a couple years ago.
I will cry if it's a Peach's Castle. We get Thousand Year Door Remastered on Nintendo Switch and a Lego Peach's Castle in the same year. I will have a mental breakdown live.
So that's what I'm expecting out of this announcement.
Sure, we're allowed to be in here? What if...
He had no idea. No clue. Ladies, gentlemen, welcome to Z&B Live Unfiltered. Poor Mr. Bricks O'Brien, man, had no... Oh, by the way, I need to fix our topics. Our topics are wrong. There we go. They're the correct topics for the day. He was like, coming up with all this stuff to talk about all episode, all show long. And I was like, okay, sure. You go ahead. You come up with all these ideas. You go ahead. We're going to talk Mario all freaking day, chat.
If I were not a content creator that keeps it clean for the sake of professionalism and wanting to present myself in a put together manner, you would be reamed. I want to let it be known, everybody. First of all, that edit is amazing. Secondly,
that's why I needed a few extra minutes this morning.
I was right, by the way. I was totally right. Let it be known, most of the time, Mr. O'Brien is right. And I was right.
Well, yes. But I want to start with you specifically said you were not going to let expectations rise. You were not going to be getting your hopes up. We watched you in real time talk about the idea of a Peach's Castle during your live reaction event for Mario Day. And we could hear in your voice you getting more and more excited, almost talking yourself into it, talking yourself into the idea. And then we saw it. Like, we saw the progression of just overall excitement down to complete just, questioning all of life. And I have to ask, how did you let yourself get there? You said on this program you were not going to let yourself get there. And then you did. How did you let that happen?
First of all, I like how this turned into gaslighting Mr. O'Brien.
Hey, we all want to know because we watched it happen in real time, baby.
Are you willing to let me cook?
Let's let Brian. We're gonna let Brian cook. Go ahead.
Because we got to fill for this episode and next episode too. So here's the thing. When you are the biggest toy company in the world and you have all of the money you could possibly have based on the pandemic giving you a lot of cash, you have loyal fandom over almost 100 years of your legacy, and you combine that with one of the most historic game companies to ever exist, one of the most recognizable characters in the entire world, more so than Mickey Mouse, okay, more so than Disney. The expectation to make cool stuff is there because you have two companies that make quality stuff. You have two companies with qualified people in place to make cool stuff. Like the model designers at Lego are some of the best creatives and architects, and you have a game company who has developers that think outside of every single box against industry trends to make really great games that are enjoyable for all sorts of people, whatever, right? And then when you release a product that isn't reflective of that, for whatever reason you want to justify, is it because of a contract thing that they have with Mattel? Is it because of, I don't know, whatever sense of innovation they want to have because of the product and the digital thing? I don't care. I don't care because there's so much room to do really cool stuff and they just refuse to do it. It's been happening since the moment this thing was announced. You have a digital figure, which is obviously very cool in its concept, interactive with all different scannable tiles and the color thing and the whatever. And you continue that for several years, which is fine, but it has to encapsulate the fullest potential of the line. And when you release all these different sets over the years, not based on the best-selling games in the franchise being Mario 64 or Sunshine or Mario Odyssey or whatever, and you're beating around the bush and you're not giving something like a Mario Kart until next year, which we'll get into that, and you have a prime opportunity to do something so cool, the single most iconic structure from Mario, one structure, it's either Bowser's Castle, Bowser's Airship, or Peach's Castle. What a great opportunity to make something objectively cool. And not only do they refuse to hit the mark over the past 3 years, but then they dumb it down, Zach. I don't think we have ever seen Lego do this in this way ever before, where you had a Lego set that doesn't encapsulate what it should, the Peach's Castle. It's a playset, $130, whatever. And then instead of making a really cool version like they have with, you know, the Disney Castle, even taking an X-Wing and making a UCS version, like you normally have your base version and you go up and then whatever. But instead we go back down instead of leveling it up in that order. We've gotten micro versions of the castle. We've gotten like super micro versions of the castle. We got a $130 play version of it. And now we have a $65 hodgepodge of whatever it is, while there's still the $130 version on store shelves right now. So if there was any time that I wanted to air my frustration and cuss like a sailor, now would be it, but I'm obviously not going to be doing that. But it's just not a feeling I can portray. It's just such a mark that continues to be missed over multiple years, not just one wave, not just one anniversary. This is going on 5 years that we're going to be having Lego Super Mario, and they still haven't done the stuff that the fans want. And it's not going to get the AFOL who doesn't care about Mario involved. It's just more garbage. That's what's most disappointing to me, and that's what I don't want to happen, because I want to see this continue for another 10 years. Mm-hmm. But these sets always go on sale. They're not something that I have seen kids are passionate about it when it first comes out or whatever, but it's not staying on the shelf for very long and it's going in a toy box. And it's been the same thing, which is why I think you're seeing Mario Kart finally happen in 2025. I thought better of Lego to think that they would not miss the mark this many times over this long of a period of time. And I just continue to be disappointed as a diehard Nintendo Mario fan. That's how it kind of happened.
But yeah. So you let your expectations kind of rise. We're getting the admit out. We're getting the confession out here that I
mean, but so yes, but when you have again, it's when you have two companies that are so competent in what they do. They're so competent and they give so much love to all these different franchises, and it's so easy. When you do a Dungeons and Dragons set, you bet it's probably going to be amazing, and it's going to have a dragon in the mini. Even the teasers for Dungeons and Dragons that we'll get into in a little while show so much love just for that one Lego set and that one property. You have the chest and the cube and the mini, and you can just see the love seeping out of it. And then with the Peach's Castle, with the Mario line in general, you just don't see it unless it's a $100 plus set. And even in this past year, we only got the Piranha Plant. We didn't get an NES or a Bowser or a whatever. That's where it also misses the mark. So it's the equivalent of like a Star Wars fan seeing all the different sets come out and they'll never do an X-Wing. We're just not going to do it. We're not going to make a good one.
Who's making these decisions? Like where like is it
I don't care. Like I don't care. Just
but there has to be a reason why, right? There has to be a reason why that they can't make minifigs of these characters, right? When we're getting Animal Crossing minifigs, we're gonna get Fortnite.
That's a whole other reason why I'm so passionately disappointed, is because you see it. It's not like Pokemon where it's like a second-rate first-party title for Nintendo. You have it with Animal Crossing, and the minifigures look so good. They look great, and the way that it factors into the game and the way they look on display. Yeah, they're overpriced. Whatever, cool. They look great. The molds of the character, like, amazing. So why is it when it comes to Mario, your number one of all time, does there continue to be missing a mark? Not just even of the digital play system, but like the characters that are involved, the enemies that are in the sets, and how many of them you get. It just. Sorry, I interrupted you. My bad.
They're not acknowledging it though, and that's what I find odd. Is you're not the only one that has these concerns. You're not the only one screaming from a mountaintop saying, where are these things? Right? Well, what is it? Why are they refusing to acknowledge or who is there somebody not specifically taking them to task as they should be on this particular topic to get a straightforward answer on this stuff? It always seems like we're always kind of in the dark when it comes to Lego. It never seems like somebody who has a voice in, like, whether it be an ambassador or whoever, like, no, it doesn't seem like anybody ever specifically gets a designer and gets a straight answer out of them when it comes to the why decisions have been made. Why is that? Why are we not getting these answers?
Well, first of all, I wholeheartedly agree that there is not a single, that I am aware of, and I hope I'm wrong, a single ambassador that is going after whoever is in charge of the Nintendo or Mario team to say, hey, why aren't we getting this? So you're totally right. And it is what it is at this point, right? I think it could be a couple reasons. First and foremost, most easily, is contracting stuff, which I think is the biggest pile of caca in the universe. Because as we've seen with larger companies like Sony and Marvel, a big sack of cash can solve a lot of problems, Zach. You solve a lot of problems with that. And especially when you're not dealing with actual like human, like actors being in acting positions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we want to break this contract or we want to whatever to make it, you know, a Lego minifigure thing. You could do it. You got to get the right people in place. You're going to have to want to do it. And that's very easy for me as a plebeian to say, who's not on the inside at Lego, who doesn't have formal marketing experience or contract negotiation. Throw a bag at it, right? That's number one. Number two, it could be someone at Nintendo saying, hey, we want to do something different with Mario and we want to change the game and we want to have something really prevalent to put on shelves. Totally cool. In the beginning, because you have an interactive play figure that can do all this stuff and kids love it. Cool. But when your point of entry to get into the play system is $60, and then you have all these play systems to add on to it, that actually plays into another topic we'll get into later. But that's a high point of entry for a family, especially when you can buy Super Mario Odyssey or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and get hundreds of hours of gameplay out of it for $40. So there's a missing of the mark there. Yes, I know box plastic is expensive. It always has been. It always will be. Continue to get higher. So it might be someone at Nintendo saying, oh, we want to do something different. Cool. You've done 5 years of this. And maybe this was the plan the whole time. We're going to do 5 years of whatever this thing is here. Then we're going to axe all of the current starter packs that include Mario, Luigi, Peach. We're not going to bother with them anymore.
But announce that. Like, just don't be forthcoming with it.
Let me cook. So what they could do is retire all those. Then they come out with a new starter course at a lower price point that says, hey, Lego Mario Kart 2025, $30. You get Mario and his cart and a couple bananas. That's it. Half the price. That's your point of entry. And that can continue, you know, Mario Kart, because now you have all the Koopalings, you have Bowser Jr., Donkey Kong, Cranky. You have literally all of the Mario Kart characters except for the carts themselves. I am with you. Why isn't that communicated? Why is it up until this point here that we wait for 2025 for Mario Kart? And I actually really enjoy the fact that it involves a play system, because when you're racing with the carts on, you know, your carpeted basement as a kid, you want sound effects to pop out, running over the question mark block and firing off the shell. And like, that seems really cool in essence. And we don't know what those are going to look like. And we're going to wait at least 9 months, if not a year and a half, August of 2025, to get Mario. That's a long time to wait.
I think August.
What I would have rather them do is you have this play system as it has been for half the amount of time. You introduce Mario Kart, and then in year 5 or year 6, you introduce minifigures being with, you know, a castle or whatever. I continue to be hung up on the fact that there's no major 3D Mario game represented besides Mario 3D World, which is whatever. Not my favorite of all time, some people's favorite of all time. But the fact that we haven't gotten like a Mario 64 minifigure something, Mario, like these are the best-selling games of the franchise. We still haven't gotten them. It's just baffling.
They're you know, this past year was the first year that we kind of, you know, the adults kind of got shafted a little bit, not taking anything away from the Piranha Plant, but
I agree.
It wasn't, you know, the Bowser set was spectacular. I love the Bowser set.
Yep.
The question mark block is incredible, especially as a fan of micro builds and things and the way they were able to capture the different lands. And there's your Mario 64, even though it was housed in a question mark block. But, you know, it shows off, like that's the level design in that set, right? And then obviously we have the NES. So which is, you know, still like one
amazing.
Of the S
one of the best Lego sets of all time.
Lego's ever done.
Yep.
You know, I think there, to me, which we've talked about previously, and then it was, you know, announced during Mario Day that Mario Kart is a thing. We're going to be getting it in 2025. I almost thought it was going to be like a January 2025 kind of thing. Start the year off with our first starter pack kind of thing, and then release stuff as the year goes on. But that, they're doubling down on the current electronic figure thing and removing the current starter packs off of shelves. I seriously doubt it's gonna be cheaper. I have a feeling it's gonna be even more expensive.
It has to be cheaper. There's no way that you make it more expensive and you get more people involved at a higher price point. It's impossible.
I mean, who knows? You're gonna have a cart. Whether or not it's buildable will remain to be seen. They kind of tease that with the Bowser car, yeah. But I feel like with the starter pack, you're also not only going to get the cart, but you're going to get a track of some kind, right? You don't think so? You don't think you're getting a track? I see you're getting a track. You're getting a little bit of track, and all these tracks are going to connect and stuff like that.
Nope.
You're going to have
nope. What you're going to get is a thing that I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's called Mario Kart Live, where it's essentially it's a Nintendo Switch game. RC Mario Kart, and you're setting up gateways on your floor.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're playing it on your TV, it's from the perspective of Mario.
Sure.
You're using your Nintendo Switch controller to navigate through these gates that are you sense it. Basically, you're driving. At first, you drive the Mario through the gates to like link it all up. And then what's really cool about it is the computer players will be alongside you as you're racing your Mario Kart. So it's a really interesting technology. It didn't resonate as much because you do need quite a bit of floor space and an open play area to play it. I would bet a lot of money that Lego is going to take a similar approach where they're going to focus on the carts. They're going to make them really cool, really detailed, brick built, fits all of the digital characters as well as the like Bowser, Donkey Kong NPC characters. They're all going to lock in. They're all going to fit in there, and they're going to be appropriately sized for the cart. I think that's going to be really cool. Then you're going to have characters on the side. No, not even. You're going to have grandstands on the side. You're going to have a finish line. That's where you're going to get Lakitu with the fishing hook when you fall off the track, whatever. They're going to want to make it so you're not restricted to play just on those ungodly expensive tracks from Lego City. Those are $20 a pack and you get nothing. For a Mario Kart track, you're going to need a whole lot more. I mean, I, as much as anybody else, would love primary color versions of those road tracks and make a big rainbow road. That'd be mighty expensive. You're talking $200 just in base plates alone, and you're not going to even get that much far with it. You're going to need to expand it that much more. I think they're going to focus on making brick-built question mark blocks, bananas, blue shells, whatever. You'll find a way to use your existing Lego City to make up your own track and drive the cars all throughout there. Maybe there will be small sections of the road plates where you can drive over it with your vehicle and get a question mark block, but you're not getting one unified connected track.
That's kind of what I was thinking more. And that's why I said, like, the starter pack is going to have some brick built track is more of a stunts style situation where you get a small section of something that is some kind of, whatever obstacle course kind of deal that you have to kind of drive through or whatever. Do you think we get a like they finally give us a Bowser electronic figure? You think we're stuck in the 3 electronic figures we have, or is this going to be their opportunity to, because again, it feels like they're doubling down on the electronic figures stuff. Like, are you going to get a couple new ones? You're going to get a Waluigi, you're going to get a Wario potentially as electronic figures?
No. That's because Bowser's already out. Bowser's already done. Bowser Jr. is done. And there aren't that many people who would go out and buy a Wario or a Waluigi by comparison of Mario, Luigi, Peach. You hit on your 3 main characters. Yoshi is already an NPC character. You could make a Yoshi, I guess, like the one definitive Yoshi, right? Like there's green primary Yoshi, and then there's all the other colors, whatever.
Right.
But I don't see Lego or Nintendo having the audacity to ask for another $60 when families have potentially already entered in at $180 for these 3 starter packs. I wouldn't. If I were in that boardroom, I wouldn't greenlight it. I would have had, Bowser is fine. You know, you have your three main characters here. Who else of a character that's not already done? Not only could they just pull off in general, but what would sell? Like a Wario wouldn't sell. And if they're already discounting these starter kits to $47.99 at Target constantly, you're talking much less sales for Wario and Waluigi by comparison. No,
I mean, the starter sets, are they gonna keep? I would imagine you're still gonna have starter packs that include our big three that we have right now, right? So people potentially to get into the, like, in order to buy Mario's main looking cart, you're gonna have to go out and shell out for another electronic Mario figure.
I would say $40. You get the digital Mario, Mario's cart, maybe a base plate that you can, like, you know, run over it and get a question mark block. It reads it, you know, on the interactive tile, and then a couple bananas. That seems pretty, you know, standard. Especially, like I said, they're always on sale for $47.99. So why could you ever justify making a higher price point for a starter course? It just doesn't make sense. So that's what I would greenlight. $30.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right as far as what people would really want to pay for, but I mean, it's Lego, baby. They're gonna, you know, we already saw the high price sticker attached to the you know, the Animal Crossing stuff with that Nintendo license and whatever else that they got to add to that. I know I would go out and buy a Wario and Waluigi, you know, thing, but maybe I'm in the minority. I'm obviously not as in tune with the Mario community as you are, but you know, if you told me that you know, that those two villains were available as a Mario Kart starter pack, I'd probably snag those up as two extra new figs that, you know, electronic figs that, you know, could be used or utilized in that type of set. And it's interesting that they announced, like, it's so far out. It was almost like, I don't know, it's just odd.
Oh, they knew.
They knew what? That they had nothing to show on Mario Day, so they were like, well, we are working on this, but it's not ready yet, so let's go ahead and
So Nintendo is one of the only Lego thieves, and I throw in Animal Crossing with that, where they will say several months ahead of time, hey, this is what we have, get ready. Almost every other Lego thing ever, Dungeons and Dragons included, announced like 2 weeks before it's ready and out. 2 weeks? And now we're getting 9 months of lead time on Mario Kart? All right. Okay. Sure.
right.
But it's not going to move the needle for the Lego fans who don't care about the digital Mario. That it's still going to maintain. I don't think you're getting any new people by having Mario Kart be the focal point rather than the play system sets, unless Mario Kart is unbelievably cool and that starter course is at a lower price point.
So a quick observation, or kind of shifting away from Mario Kart here. Quick observation. You know, we needed, you know, for the last 2 years during this Mario Day announcement thing, for them to announce a, you know, 18 plus Peach's Castle set. You know, that's what we've been craving. I found it. It was an interesting way that they worded the presentation this year, and I'm assuming it's always kind of been this way with the branding. But Mario Day was worded in a way that it's family day. It's a day to spend playing with the family. That being said, if that's their stance, you're never getting an adult set announced on Mario Day. Because it's an 18 plus set.
Yeah, I don't even anticipate that announcement. I think the Bowser was not announced on Mario Day. I could be wrong. I think the reveal was in June.
Yeah, no, because last year we got the Donkey Kong and the dry Bowser castle.
Yep.
That was whatever, right?
Yeah, I'm not looking for an announcement on Mario Day. I'm looking for an announcement.
But you were looking for that announcement on Mario Day.
I would have loved it, but you know.
Do we need to play the video again to show your anticipation of?
That's my pipe dream. That's what my pipe dream would be. But I more so, if it were something I were excited about, I would have been okay with the Peach's Castle not being unveiled or announced or whatever. It was insult to injury that it was a smaller Peach's Castle.
Well,
that's why I was, you know, if they announced Mario Kart on Mario Day for August 1st, I'd be like, all right, cool. All right, we're good. Whatever.
Right. The Mario Kart thing I think that hurt the most for me was it felt like an afterthought. It felt like, we know that what the three things that we just showed you suck. So here is the cheapest, quickest, whatever thing, one sheet that we could offer you that just says Mario Kart coming 2025. Like that was not a brick built Mario Kart, graphic or anything. Like it was like a nice, sleek, designed graphic. So it didn't even represent what the particular Lego set or Lego version is going to look like. It just doesn't. And it was a slap to me. That was a slap in the face, because I've been waiting for Mario Kart. I've talked about that with you. I've talked about it on this show. I've talked about it on my Twitch channel. Like, I've been waiting for Mario Kart to come in with using the same technology that they have right now to refresh the overall play system that they have. Give us something new. You can still have all the play sets that you've got kind of lining in the background as like background scenery as your cars are running through them or whatever. It all connects, it all works, and you don't have to abandon the system that you currently have. But the ability to have a bunch of customized carts and different things that you can do, and a different type of starter pack is actually like, you can get a wheel set, you can get a rim set, you can get, different, fenders or colors or whatever. Like, you can get these sets of attachments to your overall cart base, right? And change it up and customize it and make it, your own different type of, parachute type of thing, right? Like, you can do all these different customizable things. Those are your starter kits for your cart. You buy your main cart and then you can keep customizing it up. I've been wanting this, and I was seeing that it was like, okay, great, like it's confirmed, like they're at least thinking about it, right? But it was such a just throwaway, no real presentation about it. It was just, it was what's the term? It was the Wish version of the Apple's One More Thing. Like, it was as quick as they could possibly make it. We literally have 15 seconds. Throw that graphic up on the screen. Let's go. And that's what it was. And it sucks.
What I get hung up on, Zach, is that Nintendo, and especially Mario, doesn't deserve that. That's where I get I don't want to say like not like real life heartbroken, right? We're in this bubble right now. Heartbroken, right? It doesn't deserve that. It deserves to have the pomp and circumstance because it is Mario, and that deserves to be celebrated, especially on Mario Day. And maybe that was Lego's way, knowing full well, coordinating with the Nintendo marketing team. Hey, the biggest news story coming out of today, no one cares about Lego at all because Mario Movie 2 is being announced for 2026. That's the only other thing I can think of. I didn't care about that because I knew you're telling me they're making a sequel to a multi-billion-dollar movie. Right. Oh, I'm so surprised. Right. Obviously, you're gonna.
No way. Yeah.
Right. So, I got a release date for Thousand Year Door, which is great. That's my favorite game of all time. But that was also nothing news. So, by comparison of everything else. So, maybe that was just Lego being like, all right, well, we're not even going to bother with anything crazy today. And we're going to have our own marketing beat for Nintendo stuff when it's ready. We'll show more in June, whatever. if Lego wants to make an absolute bag of money, which they're gonna already, you need to have Mario Kart for January 1st, 2025, and then you have the Lego stores accidentally release them right before Christmas, and then you are just securing the fattest stack of cash. I think, like, neither of us have seen that ungodly amount of money in our lives, Zach. Never. That would be unbelievable, but they probably won't do it.
So, not to gaslight you any further.
Here we go.
Back to my point that you're not going to get an 18 plus set announcement on Mario Day regardless, right? Like they're not going to announce it. That's my takeaway from their presentation, saying it's family day. They're focused on play sets and family play sets and so on and so forth. It's not uncommon, because we've seen it in previous years, for them to later on kind of quietly announce a 18 plus Mario set for the year. Okay. We're not necessarily not getting a Peach's Castle this year. I'm just,
all right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just because they didn't announce it on Mario Day, which they shouldn't have anyway, because it's not what they do. We still have a lot of year left where Lego's going to announce something, and hey, in 2 months, you're going to be able to buy, a full-size Peach's Castle with a whole lineup of minifigs included with them.
The only thing I can compare this to is literally the legacy of the Disney Castle. So you have all these different interpretations of it, whatever. The first version that came out was the big grandiose one that came out in 2015, 16, 17, somewhere around there. I was working at the Lego store at the time. That comes out. And then at the same time, on store shelves, later in its life cycle, you have the mini Disney Castle in that little blue box with the Mickey and whatever. So you have a dumbed down version of it. So you have the big thing, the dumbed down version, and then you have the really even cooler one, which has all of the princesses with the princes and, a revamped building style to it. I mean, you built both of them. You know that they're different, right?
Yeah.
So I can only compare it to that because you had the big castle, meaning the Peach's Castle $130 one, the dumbed down version, which is this one, and they want to retire the old version, even though it's on store shelves right now. They're going to retire that old one to make room for a bigger, cooler one that would come out down the line. That's the only way I can rationalize it, because you have two separate products. You have the one that's more accessible for kids, which $130 compared to $65. You get the last of the Koopalings. You get a Chain Chomp Toad mini castle. Cool. That's perfect for like a kid's birthday party or a Christmas gift from Aunt Debbie, whatever. She's not buying the $130 thing. She'll buy the $65 thing. But then you could have the larger one, the really grandiose one, for $249.99. Have, even if you keep the digital figures, whatever, but make like a really gung-ho, crazy thing. I don't know if that would happen this year. It maybe could happen next year. And what an idea that somebody in my community, Bubble of O, had mentioned, that there could be a Peach's Castle where the doors open up and there's a road leading into it where you could drive your Mario Kart in, and it could be, more interactive with the Mario Kart stuff. That could be for 2025 or 26, but I don't think you see it this year. I think you're going to see literally anything else, because you couldn't ever predict the UCS Mario stuff, even if you had all the tea leaves in your pot.
That's what I was going to ask. So what are you, what, I feel like we're going to get at least
what I'm expecting are two separate things. I can't make a prediction on any of that stuff. Clearly they've continued to deliver stuff that we, are very not aware of, right? Out of the box, whatever. I continue to want 3D Mario stuff. I want a Odyssey spaceship. It's like the red top hat. I don't know if you never played Mario Odyssey, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So the Odyssey ship, and then you can interact with Mario in that way. For $170, that feels appropriate. But other than that, they could do literally anything, man. I have no clue what they could do for a UCS anything. No clue.
I don't know. we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I feel like we're primed for something big from
Gotta be,
an 18
gotta be,
plus set.
dude.
I just feel like we are. I feel like we're primed this year for something big, an 18 plus set from the Mario line. It feels like because the 18 plus sets that they have created to this point are good. They're really, really, really good. So it's not like they've let us down with any of the 18 plus sets that they've actually put out, right? And castles sell. People love their castles, baby. People love their Lego castles. So
in complete contradiction to what Blocksmith in the chat live chat here said, not thinking a UCS Peach's Castle would sell. I wholeheartedly disagree, not just from the Nintendo Mario fanboy side of me, but y'all got another castle. And if, you guys don't want more castle? Okay, we'll just not release it. Right? Because you guys want less castle, right? Right?
No, it's people love them. I'll be hoping for you for sure. From a I care about your feelings, and I do hope that they do release something this year, because I think it would be an epic year for you if they did. Now, I want to look at these sets though real quick. So we do have as far as the run of show went, they kicked it off with the train set. Now, I mean, I have zero reference for this Bowser train. I know nothing about this. Like, I don't even know where it comes from or anything. What is this? What is this Bowser train?
Bowser Train is a level from a game called Super Mario 3D World. Originally came out on the Nintendo Wii U, got ported over to Nintendo Switch with additional stuff called Bowser's Fury. It's one of the more acclaimed of the Mario games. It's not of the same stature as Super Mario 64, Sunshine, Mario Odyssey, but it is close. So this is like the one of the levels you go through where you start at the end of the train, you go all the way to the front, defeat the enemies, whatever. This is a cool set in that it is a train where the steam moves and whatever. It's kind of typical for like a Lego train to have that idea. But, you launch out of the bullet bill launcher with cannon, whatever, onto the train, defeat the enemies. So you have two stops on here, actually. One for Dry Bowser's Castle, which you can actually see printed on the 2x4 tile, which is very cool. And then the other one is Peach's Castle. And it is the smaller of the versions, the one that was announced alongside this here. So it's a cool homage to the game. Again, I want something from the 3D games, the mainline 3D games. Where this misses the mark for me, and where I stand firm, is with the enemies, the other characters that are included in this. All of these characters, in some way, shape, and form, have been around before. Boom Boom, the Goomba, the Boomerang or Hammer Bro. These characters have appeared before. This is not like, this is not driving more Nintendo fans to go out and buy it for the sake of the characters. So it's relying solely on the set itself. And then the set itself, that doesn't fit on the train track at all. So you're just going around your floor and whatever. So that's fine. But if you're looking for other people to buy it, and for another reason, the fact that it sits on the train track does not fit. The fact that there's other enemies that we've seen before does not fit. So why would you go out and buy this if you're not crazy about the characters? And if it's not an actual train, you probably don't, which is why at $110, $130, it's steep, man. It's really steep.
Historically, all of these Mario sets have been steep. All of them have. Now, doesn't keep them from going on sale pretty quick, because they stay on shelves and nobody buys them, and you know, whatever. I think it's a cute set. I think it's it looks like a fun set to build, probably. I just didn't have any particular reference for it. Now, I'm not as into the Mario ecosystem or the Mario playset ecosystem, so I don't have a lot of these characters, I don't think, already. So, as far as a new set hitting shelves where I can maybe acquire some of these, maybe. But again, I'm not this isn't a set that I'm going to go out and spend my money on by any means. So I get now why you're saying it's kind of because at first when I first looked at it, I was like, well, that actually looks kind of cool. Like that actually looks like kind of like a cool set. But knowing that if you're already in the ecosystem and you already are using sets like this, you're already going to have these characters. So you're really just buying it for the train. It's going to free roll its way through whatever, setup you have for your stuff. And don't get me wrong. I got these starters. I got the starter packs to get the electronic figures. And after I opened them up and I built my little electronic figure, you bet your buttons I started building that little starter pack set and seeing how things moved. And yeah, within 15 minutes, I found myself playing with them and it was fun. They're fun. They're not horrible. They're just expensive for what you get. Like that's the hard takeaway for grandma and grandpa buying little Jimmy Mario set is they see the price tag and then they go, ugh, for the amount. And then because they may look at those starter packs and go, okay, but then when they actually see them open it up, like there's barely any pieces available to it, and it kind of sucks.
And if you want to enter into the play system with this set specifically, you have to pay, let's say full retail, $190 to get involved. Just to get involved.
Right. That's right.
Pricey, dude.
It's pricey. It's very, very pricey. The next one that they got into was the Boo's Haunted Mansion, and you made a comment that, wait, don't we already have this, or didn't they already? So do we?
Two kind of versions of a set like this. One was based on this iteration of Boo we're seeing, which is typically from Mario Kart, the Mario World game. This is like standard King Boo. My preferred King Boo is the one from Luigi's Mansion, which is more of he's got a purple gem in there, purple face. He looks a lot more menacing, plays into the haunted aspect a whole lot more. We have gotten like similar sets, and actually with this before, it really feels like they have a dumbed down version of Peach's Castle and then a dumbed down version of the Haunted Mansion from each of these different iterations of it. It's a cool looking facade, like it looks kind of complete when you look at it there, but there isn't anything new here with the play system or the characters that makes you want to go out and buy it. I have a Dry Bones. So the printing on it is a little bit different. He's looking upward instead of looking straight ahead. King Boo, I already have that little yellow Yoshi thing. Yeah, that's new. Cool. Am I going to drop however much money this is on it? Probably not. So why
Yoshi's horrible, by the way. It looks terrible.
It's a smaller version of it's a different character. It's not Yoshi.
Okay, gotcha. It's not a Yoshi.
It's supposed to look derpy, like it's supposed to look like that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So that's intentional. But like even what I'm seeing here, the play system where the Boo is like rocking back and forth, that's happened in the other two sets as well. So what's new? What's new here? Nothing.
So this then leads into they basically did a redo of it. Can you still buy the other two sets?
No.
So they're off shelf. So this is just a kind of a refresh of two sets that existed at one point in time, which we've seen Lego do that. I mean, we're looking at a Hagrid set right now that's been done how many different times? You know what I mean? So like, come on. Like, it's not uncommon for them to do this, Lego to do this, right? They'll take opportunities to tweak a few things to make things a little bit better from a design, whatever it is, like, building techniques. They learn from their mistakes. So I can't necessarily knock that if the set isn't currently still available for people right now to get it. That's fine. I'll give them a pass on that. But the big one that obviously... Which your prediction, we got a Peach's Castle.
Yep, that's true. I held a prediction on the Twitch channel live. I said, are we going to get a Peach's Castle Lego set? Yes or no? Yes, one. I never said it had to be a crazy big thing. That was my hope, but I never said it had to be.
But to your point, there's a Peach's Castle, a bigger version, already on store shelves. This is the way you put it, a dumbed down version of it. Can people just kind of look at this though as more of a budget friendly version?
Yes, that's
right?
100% what this is, and you still get all of the accents to it that make it look like a Peaches. I mean, it has the stained glass window, the red rooftop pieces, the white. There's not really brick around. I mean, there's white bricks, but not like the white masonry pieces that we were kind of hoping they would involve. And you get Roy, which is the last Koopaling, which some people were concerned they were going to can the whole line before doing Roy. Now we have all the Koopalings, so great. You can use them in your forthcoming Mario Karts. And then you have a Chain Chomp here, which we've seen before in a $20 set. You get a Toad. Cool. So this is a, admittedly, even more display-friendly version of Peach's Castle compared to the first one where you had to really hodgepodge everything. This looks good from a facade standpoint and what it's supposed to be. It does look good. Again, it's not what I want, but it is what it is. You get the brown door pieces, which is cool. You get that also on the Boo haunted house thing as well. So that kind of leads into what I think they could do in the future. You have a Peach's Castle, the haunted house from King Boo. I think eventually, if not January 1st or August 1st, whatever, you will see a dumbed down version of Bowser's Castle. They'll retire that one, that currently the Dry Bowser Castle, they'll retire that. And then you'll have your three mainstays here, which does also open up for larger stuff in the future. But you'll have your MIDI price point, your MIDI versions of these larger structures they've done previously. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Okay. So it's, you know, there's logic behind what they've done here with these three sets. It's not like they're totally, you know, just mailing it in. We are
assigning logic to them. We don't know exactly what they're going to do. We are assigning the logic, and we're sounding actually pretty like coherent with like how they would tee each of these up for younger kids and to have them as kind of your backdrop for Mario Kart when they eventually come out. You know, 65 is a lot easier than 130 for a castle, whatever. So,
right. And that's kind of that's why I'm saying that. That's my point, is that it fits. It's a little bit more easier to swallow. 65, which will probably hit a sale. Check your local Costco's.
Yep.
Pretty quick. You know, the train is expensive at 120 US. You know, the King Boo's Haunted Mansion's pretty pricey at $75.
That is pricey.
You know, but I'm assuming they're padding. I don't know why they're padding that price. I guess it's bigger than the Peach's Castle, but
sure.
You know, the Peach's Castle probably is the more which is crazy to think now, but it seems to be, as far as a Mario playset collector, probably a little bit more enticing for people, because you're going to be able to get the last remaining Koopaling that you've been waiting on to complete your set. So, you know, you wait for that one to kind of go on sale, grab your Koopaling, and then, you know,
you're out.
You know,
you're done.
You're done. You're done. So it's unfortunate, this is the state of things. This is unfortunately the state of Mario Lego currently. We can only hope that, Mario Kart in 2025, reinvigorates the overall play sets a little bit, or maybe changes their thinking a little bit of how they're going to handle stuff.
Real quick, massive shout out to Lego for not announcing anything Donkey Kong related in any capacity to follow up on what they've done for August in the past year. They literally dropped the banana on that one entirely. Just totally. Donkey who?
They didn't know what to do with Donkey Kong. That was the strangest announcement last year, when they were like, they put him in a scenario that I've never seen happen in a game, where he like carries Mario around. Like that was how do we make Donkey Kong? I mean, they should have just saved Donkey Kong from Mario Kart. You save him from Mario Kart, you add him to that, and then everybody, like, I would have gotten excited. You make Donkey Kong a electronic figure in Mario Kart.
That's justified. Yeah, I agree. And because Donkey Kong's also getting his entire own land in Universal Studios in Orlando and in Japan. So clearly they're trying to stoke the fire, main character of the movie, and probably the second movie as well. So why not play into that a little more? But no.
Yeah. Again, I don't know if, if the tail's wagging the dog here or what's going on. Who's making the decisions? If it's Lego, saying we're not going to do this, or if it's Nintendo being very protective with their properties and saying, no, we can't. We don't want to do this. We want, we're a video game company, interactive company. We want our main characters to be interactive and always have that type of, I don't know. We don't know. And Lego, for whatever reason, won't tell us. And it's very odd that they will not tell us. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And until somebody takes them to task that has a much louder voice than I do, we will never get the information.
We have a mission, Zach. We gotta sneak our way into not sneak our way, but we gotta get in on the other side of the fence. We gotta say, hey, yo, what's the deal, dog? What's the deal? What are we doing?
What we doing here? Real quick, during our wrap up today, I do want to, speaking of keeping things close to the chest, Lego has been, keeping the D&D announcement, very secret and slowly leaking out information, slowly giving us little tidbits and things. And we finally have a countdown clock now on the Lego website. So set your calendars for March 19th, 1 p.m. Eastern. We should be getting, it at least appears according to their countdown clock, a presentation or reveal of the official Dungeons and Dragons set that I'm assuming is going to go bonkers for Lego. That's going to be one of those sets that just sells out in a matter of seconds.
Yep.
I'm hoping they put it up for pre-order. That's what I'm hoping for, that they give people the opportunity to pre-order so they can gauge how much like they need to kind of have in the hopper, like prepping sets and ready to ship out. It is expected to be an April 1st set, so they give you kind of a 2-week lead up kind of thing and get people an opportunity. So it's not a mad crash of the website on April 1st trying to get that set and whatever. Like, there are ways for Lego to get around these things. Why they choose, again, lack of information, lack of transparency. I don't understand this, but why Lego chooses a pre-order on releases versus just, making it available, on the actual release date. I still don't understand why they choose one versus the other on particular sets. I don't get it. But this is a set, to me, would make a lot of sense to be a pre-order available for pre-order, just so they can gauge interest and have the appropriate sets ready to go. You're not buying this set day one or at all, right?
I mean, if it looked really cool, but I'm not a D&D guy at all. Like, I have no affinity for Dungeons and Dragons, but if the rumors and the speculation about it are accurate, I could see myself getting it one day, but it's not a give me immediately thing. So
yeah. And I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm sure it's going to look amazing. I'm sure they're going to do something that is like, no, you got to get it day one or else you're going to miss out on some probably, amazing gift with purchase or whatever. And that'll get you. Like, that's what's going to rope everybody in, suck everybody in. Yep. Because they're freaking mad geniuses when it comes, to this stuff. But, there's enough other stuff coming out on April 1st to talk about. And we will be talking about on the next show that you're going to be seeing hit premiere next Wednesday. I'm happy that Mr. Bricks O'Brien went along for the ride today. Very kind of you.
I didn't think today would be all Mario. I mean, I'm honored. I get it. Well, because I get it out of my system, and now future stuff we can move past this until we see more official reveals later in the year, and then whatever Ultimate Collectors, hopefully by the end of the year, and then Mario Kart will pop off when it's gonna.
One of the hardest things I had to keep a secret. I'll tell you, it was he had no clue Ladies and gentlemen,
No,
he had
I
no
really
clue about any of that stuff. He didn't know that video was going to play at the beginning. If you did miss the beginning of it, I highly recommend going back and checking it out. If you're listening to us on, Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, go check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/ZachMRutledge. Find us, Z&B Live Unfiltered, over there every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you're currently in the chat, hit those like buttons. Let's get those likes up. Let's get that engagement up currently in our live chat. We would really, really appreciate it. And again, we will not be live next week, but we will be premiering a new episode next week. So that'll be available for everybody to watch at their leisure. Mr. Bricks O'Brien, thank you again for today and for playing along and being a good sport. I know Mario is near and dear to your heart, so thank you. I felt like we needed to give the conversation time.
We'll do a similar episode if they ever come out with Final Fantasy Lego.
There we go.
Never will.
That's right. That's how it'll work. Guys, thank you so much for Mr. Bricks O'Brien. I'm ZachMRutledge, and we will see you guys next Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Bye!